Two reasons why we take breaks with microdosing. One, mushrooms are not addictive. They're not looking for the user to transfer their dependencies from, in this case, let's say an antidepressant or an Adderall, or maybe other things over to the mushroom. The mushroom simply wants to become an ally and work on the root cause, because most anxiety is a consequence of some trauma. It could be long embedded trauma. It could be recent trauma. The mushroom will put you in a mood that you can examine that. Self-directed. We specialize in taking people from a very low mood or ups and downs, people going through grief, heartbreak, career transition, hormonal changes, particularly with women. We actually have about 17, 18 women. They only microdose on their cycle because through microdosing, they became aware that that's when they were the most emotionally vulnerable. So by microdosing, getting into their cycle and a flow, they even out what often is a very challenging time of the month for many women. And that continues premenopausal, menopausal, a lot of things going on with microdosing for that intention. Microdosing needs intention. So if you set your intention that you're going to be microdosing to lift your mood, elevate your mood, then over 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, you begin to see some of those benefits. Everyone is different. Everyone is on a different time. It's extremely important when you contemplate microdosing, not in a, everything takes time. So people will say, oh, if I microdose, do I have to, if I'm on an antidepressant, do I have to stop the antidepressant before I start microdosing? Many of you who may have the privilege to be in therapy or have the opportunity to have therapeutic support, very often therapists have a specific point of view. If you want to microdose a psychedelic, you can't be using your antidepressants. And that is very challenging because most people, the reality is very difficult to just stop. It's also not in the best interest of your health. So microdosing in the doses that we see as effective, you don't have to stop anything else. Everything can be done in a nice cadence over time, tapering, slowly. Nothing has to be, you don't have to be that concerned about stopping something. It's all about getting into a rhythm. The goal of the mushroom, we have this story, the narrative, the mushroom's coming over the visit. The first thing the mushroom would like to have is the anxiety to take a bit of a vacation. That way then the mushroom can go to the root cause, which is, okay, Lou, what's really bothering you? What's happening? And when you take breaks, the second reason that you take a break is to have the time to not necessarily feel the mushroom in a perceptual way. It is working. Physiologically, when you take a psychedelic mushroom, generally speaking, it's breaking down into a compound, into psilocin. It's generating an uplift to the serotonin. It's connecting to the different receptors, and it's lifting the mood. So I could talk very technically, but for the basic, that's what's happening. But it's not always perceptual. It's cumulative. if you microdose over time, you get cumulative benefit. When you stop and take breaks, whether it's breaks between a protocol, a day, 2 days, that is to allow the medicine to work and not overstack it. That often maybe could make you more anxious or more elevated than you need to be. So that's an important reason for the protocol and taking breaks. The other reason for taking breaks is you start to feel more self-confident. What many start to feel for the first time, if they've really been struggling with low mood, um, more incentivized. Oh, they get a more creative inspiration, more productive. They identify that the work they're doing is not close enough to their heart. How can they transition? You start to be able to have a self-directed conversation. No one is telling you, nobody is forcing you. And so we notice with the couple of hundred patients and clients that we have, we notice that people start to feel better. They start to feel better. They start to feel more productive. They may or not continue with microdosing. They may put it aside for a while. There may be some situational issues or other health issues that get identified. So it's all about developing your own protocol to realize personal growth. That's really the main thing.